but
I mean, he made the meme his.
Yeah.
When he got hit to the ground, he wasn't KO'd. He went, what?
Mental.
Really?
It was just like him imposing his will on me and being massive and the big shots landing. And then, yeah, it pretty much all goes downhill from there.
You know, it's hard to take somebody out when they won't cooperate. I mean, Jake Paul, he was running around like the road runner in that.
Joshua's gigantic. So big. He's so big. He's so much bigger. So, of course, like, his punch that he knocks Tyron Woodley out cold with, Joshua just eats it.
Yeah.
Because he's a giant.
Yeah.
He's a fucking giant man.
So big, dude.
Logan Paul attacks on Jake Paul after brutal loss from Anthony Joshua, and a broken jaw completely humiliates himself. Mocking his own brother while he's battered makes Logan look like a pathetic clown. His arrogance backfired, turning him into the joke of the boxing world, exposing his lack of courage, respect, and any real fight sense.
Like what you should be doing, should have kept your hands up, bro. You can't, you don't have energy to keep your hands up. You have nothing left to give, and this guy's trying to murder you. I couldn't believe Jake got up 3 times before that. Part of me was like, brother, just stay.
Logan Paul laughing at Jake Paul after getting blasted by Anthony Joshua's hardest shots is beyond embarrassing. Watching your own brother struggle with a shattered jaw and acting like it's entertainment makes Logan look weak, petty, and out of his depth. Fans aren't just cringing, they're questioning how anyone in that family takes boxing seriously.
Anthony Joshua hits you with probably his hardest shot. You dropped and said, wow.
I was like, wow, that was nice.
Did he surprise you with his power?
No, but I mean, he surprised my jaw.
Talk to me about what your jaw feels like.
It's like a baseball in there. 4 titanium plates. How many do you have?
Just one.
Derek Chisora exposes Jake Paul as a complete embarrassment in the ring, while Logan Paul's mocking antics make the situation even worse. Both brothers have turned what should be a sport into a circus. Jake's constant flops and dodges show zero skill or heart, and Logan's laughter only cements their status as a disgrace to professional boxing.
I'll give him credit for that, because there's a lot of the bravery for running away when he got tired. The bravery. Sorry. Sorry. From round 1, running away, jumping up and down, falling down on the floor.
Duke McKenzie lays bare the full humiliation. Jake Paul was completely outclassed, collapsing under Joshua's size, jab, and power, while Logan's public mocking only amplifies their shame. Both brothers have now become a spectacle rather than fighters, turning boxing into a family farce. Fans witness not courage, but total incompetence and ego-driven foolishness.
To the floor. So once or twice he fell to the floor without being hit, because Anthony Joshua was just so much bigger than him, and he couldn't cope with anything really. Couldn't cope with Anthony Joshua's jab. He couldn't cope with the size difference. He couldn't cope ultimately with the power.
Carl Froch doesn't hold back. Jake Paul's survival act looks more like a slapstick routine than a fight. Every second exposed his lack of skill, endurance, and ring IQ. The Paul family has turned professional boxing into a farce, making headlines for all the wrong reasons. This is a moment that should serve as a brutal wake-up call.
Fabio Wardley now has won the fight fair and square, because that's the decision. That's the referee's final decision. Wardley wins the fight. He is now mandatory for Alexander Usyk. What is he going to do against Alexander Usyk? Where do we go from here? Alexander Usyk.
Mike Tyson's reaction highlights just how disastrous Jake Paul's fight was. A broken jaw, multiple falls, and utter inability to handle Joshua's power exposed the Pauls as completely unprepared for a real fight. Their antics have shifted the narrative from athletic achievement to sheer embarrassment, showing that fame and bravado cannot replace genuine skill.
Face all night. Listen, I think he's taking it very, very seriously because his health depends on it.
Eddie Hearn lays bare the truth. Jake's only mission was to last, and even that looked shaky. Facing a top heavyweight like Joshua, he had no real chance, and the Paul brothers' antics have made the fight a spectacle of failure. Fans witnessed an epic display of inexperience and fragility disguised as boxing bravado.
At the end of the day, Jake had one job, and that was to try and survive. I mean, he was never ever going to win the fight, ever. And if you would have said to me, do I think he'll go 6 rounds? I would have said absolutely not. I mean, I felt that it would take AJ a couple of rounds to get hold of him, because I knew Jake can move a bit and he'd be moving off the back foot.
Johnny Nelson nails it. Jake Paul finally got the reality check he desperately needed. For all his hype and bravado, he walked into the ring completely unprepared for a real heavyweight. The shattered confidence he admitted shows the enormous gap between social media fame and genuine boxing skill. Fans witnessed the moment his illusions crumbled, exposing him as a fighter who relies on hype rather than technique or heart, and this defeat will follow him far beyond the ring.
You've got to make this kid have a reality check. And that's what he actually did, because Jake Paul himself said, I was shattered. You know, this guy, everything I thought I could do, I couldn't do.
The Wade concept emphasizes the absurdity of Jake's approach. He was barely surviving, hoping to land a lucky shot. Even against an AJ who wasn't at his peak, Jake's lack of preparation and ring intelligence was glaring. What fans saw was a mix of panic, holding, and sheer improvisation. This fight wasn't about strategy or skill. It was a desperate struggle to avoid complete annihilation, proving yet again that Jake Paul's fame does not translate to boxing credibility.
But I think Jake fought a very, how do I survive long enough to land a right hand type of fight, and it made it a little difficult for AJ to get his timing. No excuses. AJ didn't look great. I'll be honest. He didn't look great. Didn't look like, an AJ we thought we were going to get, the marauder, the guy that was going to come forward and bang out Jake in one round. Pause.
Nelson highlights the brutal truth. Jake's defeat was a collapse of both body and mind. One clean, well-timed shot ended the fight and crushed whatever confidence remained. Watching him crumble revealed his lack of resilience and ring IQ. Every drop showed his panic outweighing any tactical thought, confirming he isn't ready for serious competition. The moment underscored that social media bravado cannot mask real-world boxing limitations.
And so the time when the one clean shot hit him, it broke his jaw, and went down. So he knew, realistically, if you're in a fight and you get hit, sometimes you're going to get hit and you try and bullshit and get your way through. The one clean shot we saw get hit with, he had a choice of staying up or going down, and he's like, nope. It was a split-second time delay, and he had to quit. And each time he dropped down, I thought, I can see the confidence just dribbling out of it.
Dave Allen's observation is a polite way of saying what the world witnessed: a complete mismatch. Fitness and cleverness might work in sparring or for social media hype, but against a seasoned heavyweight like AJ, it barely registers. Jake Paul looked outclassed at every turn, unable to handle range, speed, or power, and constantly on the back foot. The credit given is almost backhanded. It acknowledges effort, but can't erase the glaring reality that Jake's abilities are still far from professional standards. This was less a fight and more a public exposure of hype versus skill, where every tumble, defensive lapse, and failed counter showcased the enormous gap between his social media persona and legitimate boxing capability. Fans saw a fighter unprepared and a hype machine humbled.
But the fight was, it weren't a fight, was it? It was really, really one-sided. Jake Paul, yeah, I've got to give him credit really, because he's super fit. He's pretty clever really. Like, he'd make a good journeyman.
Anthony Joshua's praise is carefully measured, highlighting effort and resilience over actual skill. Jake's repeated attempts to rise after heavy shots show determination, yet determination alone cannot compensate for a lack of technique, experience, or composure under pressure. While AJ acknowledges the courage it took for Jake to enter the ring with one of the world's best heavyweights, the fight itself reinforced the harsh truth: hype can't mask inexperience. Each knockdown stripped away confidence, exposing vulnerabilities that seasoned fighters exploit without mercy.
Him out at the start, but as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best, and I take my hat off to him, because number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did.
Duke McKenzie's words underline the sheer humiliation Jake Paul faced. After Anthony Joshua dismantled him, the broken jaw isn't just a physical injury, it's a public statement. For Jake, every boast and every claim evaporated in front of millions, leaving him exposed as unprepared and overhyped. The reality check was brutal. He asked for a fight and got served with a harsh dose of boxing truth. Fans and analysts alike are seeing Jake not just lose, but literally pay for underestimating underestimating the sport, while Logan Paul's involvement as a bystander adds insult to injury. This fight didn't just break a jaw, it shattered any pretense of credibility, turning both Paul brothers into a cautionary tale for anyone thinking boxing fame is earned overnight.
Anthony Joshua did that to him, because now he won't be able to talk like he does. For a while, we won't have to listen to his...
Logan Paul's attempt to praise Jake is laughably out of touch with reality. Lasting 4 rounds in sheer desperation isn't skill or strategy, it's survival. And surviving doesn't equate to winning. Broken jaw, ankle rolled, repeatedly flattened. The list reads like a horror story rather than a boxing achievement. Logan's narrative fails to recognize that the Paul brand in the ring is more about spectacle than substance. Claiming toughness while Jake's skills and defense were laughably inadequate only magnifies their status as a boxing disgrace. This is a lesson that hype cannot replace fundamentals. Endurance and heart can't mask poor technique or lack of ring IQ. The Paul brothers, despite their influence on social media, have become the poster children of how far showmanship can stretch before reality brutally intervenes. True boxing toughness is measured by strategy and execution, not by desperate flailing under punishment.
In my opinion, he won 4 of them. People will argue that he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fucking fighting, man. Like, that's toughness. You know, most people wouldn't have the balls ever to step in a boxing ring in their life. He stepped in a boxing ring with one of the baddest men on the planet. Who's 40 pounds heavier than him is 6.
David Haye cuts straight to the heart of the matter. Jake Paul is out of his depth. Size mismatches in boxing aren't trivial. They're lethal when combined with a lack of proper schooling and ring IQ. Suggesting Jake stays in cruiserweight is not mockery. It's a professional critique highlighting his limitations. Time and again, the fight demonstrated that his skill set is insufficient against elite heavyweights like Joshua. This isn't about punching power, it's about understanding space, distance, and technique. Without formal training, Jake's natural athleticism is nullified against someone with proper experience, like Joshua. The Paul brothers' antics may entertain online, but boxing fans and analysts see the cold reality. Hype only carries you so far before fundamentals expose you. David Haye's point is unmissable. Stick with opponents you can match physically or risk humiliation. The lesson resonates beyond Jake. It's a cautionary tale for any influencer stepping into a pro ring.
He sticks with the cruiserweight division where the guys are the same size as him, because that, without having the schooling.
Joseph Parker perfectly articulates Joshua's masterclass in strategic dominance. This fight was never about Jake Paul landing a single significant blow. It was a demonstration of calculated dismantling. Joshua's patience, precision, and timing allowed him to exploit Jake's weaknesses, leaving the young fighter frustrated and battered. Every jab, every combination, and every chase showcased that Jake lacked not just defense, but the understanding of how to manage a fight against a top-tier heavyweight. Parker's analysis underscores that Anthony didn't just win. He methodically broke down an overhyped opponent, exploiting size, skill, and power advantages. The result wasn't just a broken jaw, it was the erosion of confidence and credibility. Fans watching learned the hard truth. Hype and bravado don't beat preparation, experience, and elite talent. Jake Paul may have survived, but he left the ring humiliated, while Joshua reinforced why he's a heavyweight champion in every sense.
Joshua did what he had to do. It took him a while to get it. He had to break him down and chase him down and unleash his powerful shot.
After watching Jake Paul's devastating loss and the aftermath with both Paul brothers humiliated, it's clear that hype alone can't compete with true boxing skill. Anthony Joshua exposed every weakness, dismantling Jake with precision, while Logan's misguided praise only highlighted their inexperience and lack of ring IQ. Fans are talking, memes are circulating, and the Paul brothers' credibility in boxing has taken a massive hit. The question now isn't if Jake will recover, but whether either brother will ever be taken seriously in the heavyweight division. Do you think the Paul brothers should even attempt a comeback, or is this the end of their boxing credibility? Comment below and tell us who you think could actually survive in the ring with a true champion.